It's the start of the Reign of Jafar reveal season, but the team at Ravensburger also give us a look ahead at the next year of Disney Lorcana, including Fabled, Whispers in the Well, as well as a sneak peek for 2026. Let's check it all out now. What's up, Illumineers? It's Charlie and Matthias back, and like a bunch of you, I imagine we just got finished watching the live stream put on by the team at Disney Lorcana, and so much interesting, exciting information.
In a completely different format as well, right?
Yeah,
I think it was super exciting seeing back to back. So much information, but a lot to digest as well.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Greg Tito. He's the new communications director at Ravensburger. He hasn't been at the company very long, but obviously putting his stamp on things. This was probably the single best kind of example of communication from the team at Ravensburger. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to cover, and I think we can just jump straight in.
Let's do this, otherwise it'll take forever.
So first things first, we did know that Fabled would be coming up later this year, and we do have the dates for that. So the pre-release for Fabled is going to be August 29th, and then the full release is going to be shortly after on September 5th. So get excited for that. That is the start of Disney Lorcana's third year, and with it, it is bringing a lot of things, but of course the most important thing to talk about in this video, Max, Goofy and Powerline are all confirmed to be coming into Disney Lorcana with Fabled. So
hopefully an Enchanted Powerline. It has to happen, right?
It's something I know the community have been asking for. It's something we've been really excited for, and it ties in so well with the 30th anniversary of the Goofy movie.
It's interesting because actually in the marketing materials you see on the booster pack then 3.
Yeah.
So that's probably a song card, I'm guessing, the 3 of them, and that's the one they use on the booster pack.
It's going to be eye to eye, right?
Eye to eye, exactly.
So, that's really exciting. But the other big news that was coming with Fabled is the introduction of set rotation. So for anyone who is maybe newer to TCG, set rotation is basically when the team that run the TCG determine that as a kind of a group of sets are going to be no longer playable in the core format. So basically what the team said is it really is going to prevent the pool of cards getting too big. Obviously, Disney Lorcana is a game that's accessible for everyone, including people who are new to TCG. So one way they can kind of control that and mitigate that is by kind of limiting how many potential cards there are out there. It also means that the game is accessible for new Illumineers who want to get into the game, because there aren't loads and loads of cards to collect. And so we'll talk a little bit about how they're going to also deal with kind of reprints and things like that. And it also keeps tournaments fresh because the metagame is always adapting to...
I do like it personally. I think it will change how people play the game. I think that's always something positive. And as Charlie said, some cards will be reprinted. We'll get into details, so you'll still be able to play some of those staples. But more than anything, we're also going to talk about another format that will allow you to use all the cards. So don't worry about it. You can still use that.
Yeah, so the important thing to say is that basically the tournament version of Lorcana is called Core Constructed. That's what's played at Disney Lorcana Challenges. When you do set championship, that is Core Constructed as well. So set rotation will only apply to the Core Constructed format, which does mean that we're going to be seeing the introduction of a new format called Infinity format. Some things to say about the rotation is it's going to rotate out with Fabled the first 4 sets of Disney Lorcana, and it's something that the team said they're going to be doing annually. So at the end of every year, you can expect that the set
2 years behind,
2 years behind are going to be rotated out of the game. Yes. And as Matthias alluded to, there are going to be reprints of cards. So it's already confirmed that cards like Rockstar Stitch, Pooh Honey Wizard, Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, Elsa Snow Queen, and Maleficent Dragon are all going to be part of those reprints for Fabled. It's interesting to note as well that it's exactly the same card art. Everything looks exactly the same, except the numbers are different. But what the team did confirm, which I think is a really, really good thing for people who have invested in these cards, is that if you have Stitch Rockstar from the first set, because he's being reprinted, you can still play with that Stitch Rockstar. You don't need the reprinted version of it. So it means you don't need to worry about collecting all those cards, but it means that the cards are accessible for newer players.
For sure. And obviously that will also mean getting educated and knowing which cards are still relevant ones if you're not playing the one with the number 9 or forward, right? Which is the Fable set. But really, really cool. I still don't understand why would we reprint the Honey Wizard. I don't think people ever use the card. It is pretty, but I never seen having played.
Maybe when cards are rotated out, it's going to create new strategies, and then you're going to play
but it's a vanilla card. We'll find out.
It's because it's Pooh. I think you have to reprint Pooh. And then, as Matthias said, there is the new Infinity format. So that's going to be a different type of events, separate from Core Constructed. They did say during the stream that they're going to have these events at the challenges once they start, and sets will never be rotated out. So that's kind of going to be a little bit maybe more chaotic. It's going to be harder to balance, I would imagine, for the team, because you can have all the cards, So
but that also removes the pressure of the serious tournament, if I may. So that makes sense why it is like that. They also mentioned that your LGS can actually call that out. Say today is a tournament that we're doing the Infinite format or the core constructed. But when it comes to the set championship and everything bigger, it will be core constructed.
So it's very interesting. I'm sure you've got loads of questions. We have as well, and it'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out. But because Honey Wizard Pooh, or Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard is getting a reprint, that he's also getting an Enchanted. So we got our first look at the Enchanted cards for Fabled. Looks absolutely incredible.
My card, I just can't take it. It's probably my favorite card look ever.
It's fun. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's insane. It's so death, like there's so much death.
I love that because it's a vanilla card. Getting an Enchanted, they've reduced the size of that ability box to really show more of the art. I think it just looks
this
insane.
Is the card. I need this card. This is my favorite card ever. And I think since we're talking about Enchanted, we can go straight away to the new Rarities as well. So we actually got to be introduced to two new Rarities that are coming with Fable or Year 3. Right?
Yeah.
And those will carry on as far as we know after Fable. It's just starting at the third year.
It's one of those things that I know the community, ourselves included, have been really asking for is more rarities, more reasons to open packs, because that pack opening experience right now is stale.
Yeah.
Especially this set. If you're not getting an Enchanted, if you're not getting a Tamatoa, it's almost not worth opening packs. Like we barely open packs anymore. So
that's it.
Very excited that this is happening. I wish it was happening for Reign of Jafar. But
me too. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. So two of them. The first one is called Epic. So Epic stands in between the Legendary and the Enchanted.
Yeah.
So it's harder to find than a Legendary, but easier than an Enchanted. We don't know the odds yet. It hasn't been informed how many could be in a booster box or whatnot. We know there will be 18 for Fable, for the set Fable. And the main difference is it is an alternative version of the existing card. So it uses exactly the same art, but the difference is the actual treatment of the card. So they call it, I think it's the open air type of card. So it's more the look that you see in the first set, like without the borders, but it's still with the box and the widget, with the background. And pretty much the actual treatment of the foiling seems to be also improved. So they said there is a hollow foil treatment on the icon itself, a special rainbow foil treatment on the card, and a gloss treatment on the art. So it kind of jumps off, similarly to what we've been seeing with the latest legendary cards, where the character pops off in front of the card.
Yeah, and the one that we got to look at was Elsa. So obviously Elsa's going to be a reprint, and it's using the art from that reprint. So these aren't alternate arts. They're alternate treatments on existing arts that are going to be available in the set. I'm not sure how I feel about the look of them. I think like the Enchanteds for the first three sets looked beautiful. And then we saw the Enchanteds for set 4 where they've really changed the look of them, and it's kind of hard comparing them now because it's like so then seeing these like it's nice for the nostalgia, but I personally wish they'd chosen something a little bit better because I'm not a huge fan of this style.
I understand them not redoing the art. Okay, maybe it's too much work, right? And we're talking about that with the next type of Rarity, but I wish they would just follow the same treatment as the Enchanted, right? As I said. But anyway, they probably know what they're doing. I mean, they know what they're doing. And there's a new icon. It's almost like
there's
a
new icon. It's true.
So we'll find out all 18 of them or all the other 17 as the set gets announced.
And then do you want to talk about the other Rarity?
I do, because I'm very excited. So Rarity number 2, it's called Iconic because it's supposed to be with iconic characters. And pretty much the main difference here is that it's rarer than Enchanted. So we cannot even believe how hard it is to get those. We know already because Ravensburger confirmed that Mickey and Minnie from the main marketing materials are the ones for the set. So there's only 2 iconic cards, and pretty much is an alternate version of existing cards. So we'll see this new card coming in. It's yet an alternate version of that. It's a full alternate artwork, so completely different. So it's not like the Epic that we just talked about. And apparently there's a custom lore star foil pattern that they did not show in much details.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
You kind of see. You can see on screen right now. It's blurred because they don't want to show the effect of the card yet. But there's something that makes more interesting. And finally, also a 3D hot stamp effect. So it makes the card even pop even more. Yeah. In the video that we're seeing, the announcement looks very vibrant, very beautiful. And it's going to be one of those cards that we really want to get for sure.
I'm very curious to see what this is going to do to the market once it releases.
Yeah. And of course, it's a beautiful card. The one we're seeing right now with Mickey Mouse is just insane.
And of course, we are currently in set championship season for Arcasia's Island, but looking ahead really far, we've already seen the set championship promo card for Fabled, and it's going to be Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. So very cool. I know one of the criticisms people had with the set championship promo cards is that they were often unplayable cards, cards you don't really care about. I mean, I'm on the fence whether I'm like that excited about a Hero Hamada card, but reprinting playable cards like this, I know plenty of people are going to be very excited by
Maleficent. And such a classic character.
Such a classic character. And they did say that moving forward, the set championship promo cards are going to be a little bit more aligned with the kind of the game design team. Yeah. So hopefully a little bit more playable, hopefully a little bit more I was going to say iconic, but you know what I mean, like
don't
cards,
use the word iconic now, it's trademarked.
Cards that you would recognize and cards that you would be excited to play, because I think we're all sick of those $20-$30 enchanted cards from these set championships.
So it is beautiful. We don't have the look of the playmat yet. If there's a playmat, I'm hoping
I'm assuming there'll be a playmat.
We haven't seen that.
Hopefully a runners-up playmat again.
Yeah, exactly. But super cool. One thing that we forgot to mention as well with the reprints is the legendary cards that have been reprinted or are being reprinted for Fable also have a new treatment on the legendary iconography.
Very
it's
true.
Still legendary, but it's a flat gold with some sparkle effects. Super cool, and the Maleficent Dragon is one of them.
Okay, I'll show a clip on screen now from Katie at the Lawkeepers Inn.
Yes.
She revealed this on her stream, so we'll show that off to you. And then the last thing that we have to talk about with Fabled, maybe do you want to talk about it, Matthias?
I can talk about it, is the collection starter set. So again, look it on screen right now. They said that they are trying to obviously target the different type of audiences in the game, and one of them is the collectors, like me. And I think it's just our entry point for the third year, really bringing that group of people. So it's kind of the equivalent of a gift set in a way, but what it comes is the binder with the Mickey Brave Little Tailor version of the challenge, right? So the different art, as you can see. It comes with the Tinkerbell promo, so that's one of the reprints for set 9, Giant Fairy, with the sparkly effect that we have been seeing with Lilo and previously Mickey from the gift set for Into the Inklands.
Yeah, from Costco.
From Costco. And finally for booster packs of the Fable set. And that's, as you can see as well, you can see right there, eye to eye, likely, the music song or the song from Max.
So I think that's actually a really cool product. Like the binders, you're probably, if you're a serious collector, not going to be using this binder to store your main collection, but for sure we use the Stitch binders from the Stitch gift set for like trades and miscut cards and things like that. So it is a very beautiful binder. It's great to see the art getting showcased. But
it is a collector set, so I'm sure collectors will buy the binder, even if they don't use. That's our case. So there you go.
Maybe
beautiful choice.
If you just get into collecting and this is like your first,
exactly, that's the idea.
Do that until you level
you're
up.
You're putting your
Tinkerbell
promo inside. You're getting those cards from the 4 packs. Hopefully you pull a iconic card and you put it in, and there we go.
So moving on now. So after many months of asking for it, we finally got dates for Worlds. So that's going to be the culmination of the Disney Lorcana Challenge circuit for this season. And it's going to be taking place at Walt Disney World on June 28th and June 29th. But wait, do not book your flight tickets, do not book your hotel tickets. This is exclusively right now a VIP experience for the top 28 qualified players. It's not going to be open to the public, contrary to what we were told at D23. The team did explain it. Basically, they said the game was more successful than they expected, so they weren't able to do it. I don't know if I necessarily buy that, but it does mean that it's going to be a closed event. We'll all be watching along on Twitch.
We were actually opting to don't go too deep on that. I think we will do a podcast at some point to talk about that in details. Our opinion about the disappointment of Worlds not being for everyone, especially after the big announcement at the back at D23 when they said there will be and some really cool events going on at the same time. So it's disappointing. That's not the point of this video anyway. It's more to inform you. We'll talk about in details later on our opinion. But we understand.
But some things coming out of it. So there is the Whole New World promo card, which is going to be available for the people competing in this tournament. But there will also be a non-foil version, which is going to be something that can be earned by fans during the broadcast of the finals. We don't know how yet. So watch this space. And they also said that during the finals, they will also give us details about the next season of the Disney Lorcana Challenge. So we'll know what's coming up and hopefully have a very clear timeline and be able to participate.
So very soon.
It was really exciting doing it.
Next month, we will know about the next season of challenges. Yeah.
And we did also get a quick look at the broadcast team. So we've got Rebecca Quests, JDZ Quest, Brandon, also known as B Squared, Liam from the Illumineers, and Baker Lorcana Villa, all going to be broadcasting at that event. I think it's an absolutely amazing team. It's great that we got commentators who have done it before, who are from the EU, but also JDC Quest. The man is a powerhouse. Like, he is so fun to watch.
It's so cool to see how fast he's growing as well with his content. And to be fair, kudos for him. He was born to do that. Honestly,
it's a great team to do it. It wouldn't be a DLC without Rebecca there, without Liam there. So,
and we have Baker coming from UK, so that is amazing. That's amazing.
I was a little bit surprised, honestly, that Spessy wasn't included. I mean, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but he is obviously a very popular member of the community, and I kind of half expected to see him here as well.
I thought as well. Maybe there's something going on, or maybe he's too busy with the other events.
He's a busy guy. But I think the team that they do have is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see what they all do.
It's a nice balance. I'm excited.
Yeah. And then before we go on to the Reign of Jafar, we have one more piece of news that was shared by the team, and that is the set 9 Whispers in the Well. So this is going to be the last set coming out this year in Q4. It's going to be the set that features the Black Cauldron, which was something that was announced at D23. So Black Cauldron is joining the game then. And
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Also, Gargoyles are joining the game. This is a franchise that people have been asking for forever. So that is great. It's great that they're kind of bringing in those fan favorites. Maybe it's a little bit more niche. Like, we grew up with the Gargoyles, showing our age. So I'm super excited to
we have a key art, as you can see, the marketing materials for the Whispers in the Well. It looks fantastic as well. I love all the ethereal elements, and they said that it fits really well with the theme with Black Cauldron. So I'm curious to see how they bring the villain to that.
What I'm most excited about is we had like water theme, desert theme, or island theme, desert theme, water theme. So
maybe this well is dry. Maybe it's dry. It got whispered all over.
But then there was also one other piece of news which was given to us, is that in 2026, Darkwing Duck is finally coming to Disney Lorcana. There is a Twitter account that they mentioned on the stream who posts every day, is Darkwing Duck in the game? And today, that person could say, yes, Darkwing Duck is in the game.
2026, and just wait.
And then we can see in this key art, so we've got Darkwing Duck, and we've also got his nemesis, Megavolt, as well. So looking forward so much to seeing them in the game.
Fantastic.
So with all of that said, let's look at the stuff from this set that is the Reign of Jafar. As they said, it's the culmination of the second year of Disney Lorcana, and with that, it brings a new Illumineers quest, the Palace Heist. So we already covered a little bit about what was inside of it. We'll link the video up there, but we did get a look at some other things, including some of the cards that are going to be in this. So this is a sneak preview, like the Illumineers quest Deep Trouble. There are some glimmers in here that are exclusive to this set. So we get a look at our first Colossus, we get to see some actions, and we get to see an illusion as well. So very exciting to see this. We can't wait to pick this up and play it.
I'm so excited, and obviously the format, as you probably saw in the live, is not a challenge against us. So it's not the luring. Well, we don't know all the elements of it behind it, but it's more about invading or heisting this palace. Yeah. And there's levels to that and so on. So it's a completely different take than what we saw with the Deep Trouble.
And they did, sorry, Matthias, they did also show on the stream the product itself. So we did know it was coming in a box. We didn't know the quality of the box, but they did, Greg did demo it a little bit on the stream. And yes, it looks like very good quality product this time.
And a board. There's actually a board.
There's a board. There's a place to store your decks. So it's kind of what I would expect from a company like Ravensburger.
Right? Yeah, so like we'll show on screen anyway the shot.
And then again, looking ahead to future set championships, we got to see the set championship promo card for the Reign of Jafar, and it is Jafar, High Sultan of Lorcana. So we'll look at the card itself a little bit later, but this is the Enchanted promo card that's coming with this set championship.
And the participation card. So until stocks last, people that sign up will get the regular version, as you've probably gone through now with the first time with Hiro Hamada, with this Arcadia's Island set. And the same, we get a version enchanted form of that, and the playmat hasn't been announced yet, so more to that later in our Instagram.
But it's another good example of them actually sticking with like the theme of the set to give us something that's very thematic and very on brand as well. Something Matthias is very excited about. We got a sneak peek at the puzzle cards, the marketing cards. I can't remember what they're called anymore.
Puzzle pieces. So actually Charlie showed me as we were recording, so I was taken by surprise, and I'm very, very excited. But I can see that they're bringing back the lore that we saw at Arcadia's Island, and I can see that are also bringing a little art of Jafar that will likely animate when you move all pieces. Are we having the same amount of pieces? I'll guess so, because it fits with their portfolio binders.
It looks like right now there are definitely two different arts. So
exactly, so it's following exactly
again,
the same again, I think. I love that idea. I'm actually happy that they're sticking with art as well. It's not just marketing materials. Fantastic. I can't wait to find out more.
So with that, let's take a look at the cards themselves. Just a quick aside, we're going to do the format slightly different today. Unfortunately, we got the card access at the same time as everyone else. I know some content creators got it a little bit early, which is super exciting. I'm hoping the team at Ravensburger extend that to other content creators because, you know, it is a little bit hard to keep up with some of these things sometimes.
I think it's a little disclaimer, and we will expand on that again in a different video or hopefully a podcast. A podcast if we start. But we don't get access to those things. We said that before. We're not revealing any card to set either. Just to let you know before you ask in the comment section.
Yeah, it's something people ask us. Like the process is what it is.
It's not happening.
I think we're on the blacklist, honestly. Like at this point,
we definitely are. We know that. We have more things to say. I don't want to sound too negative, especially in this video. There's a lot of unfortunate elements behind that, especially as Charlie said. A lot of the content creators in North America got access to all those
not even a lot
digital elements.
A bunch of them.
The ones in the good list, the ones that, in my opinion, are always in the good list. To be fair, good on them. I'm not complaining about that. I just wish we could understand what is lacking for us in Inkborn Heroes to have the same presence.
I think what is lacking for us and what's lacking for other content creators, like why does X person get it and Y person doesn't?
And we question, we have a line of contact with them. Again, we cannot go into details. We ask those questions. The answer we get every time is not a good answer. We don't know what's going on. We're just coming to accept that we're never going to be part of that, but hopefully those things change. Again, let's not run too much here. All we're trying to say is for this video right now, because everything came as a surprise, we're already behind of schedule for another announcements, right? Because no one told us anything. But so what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a more condensed format revealing the cards. We're not going to have the tracker for this first video. Hopefully, if we have the energy, we're going to put in the next ones. But we still want to, we have the responsibility, I think, for the community to cover those as we do. So we're going to go through the cards we sing, which are very, very exciting. I can't wait to actually talk about them. And then later on, we can talk more details about that. It's just unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It is. It's frustrating.
Very
but
frustrating.
Here we are. This is the situation. And let's move over to a nicer, happier note. And we're going to look at the first Enchanted card for the Reign of Jafar. Normally, the Enchanted cards were revealed a little bit later, but we got our first look at the art style. And it looks absolutely incredible. So this is Jasmine. Steady strategist, the quality of the cards we had access to at the time, not the best. But some things to note. So all of the cards, are, of course, with the Enchanteds follow the same kind of art style. So this is the art style we can expect. And some of the details to note. So it's very much focused around this gold detailing. So you'll see that in the scarabs. You'll see that in kind of like the swirling sand around Jasmine. And then after that, it's very much kind of that deserty theme with lots of sand. Kind of the feeling of an hourglass and things like that.
And we see other cards that we think potentially are the Enchanted. We'll talk about them as we look at them. But it follows the same art style. And again, knocked out of the park. Viv Tanner. Viv Tanner was the one that did my favorite card for the last set as well, which is Always Found.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And again, perfection. So good job. I need this card.
So we also got our first look at some new cards, but they're also going to be promo cards this set. So this is Pluto Tried and True. This is going to be the promo card handed out at Ravensburger sponsor. So if you go to a DLC during the Reign of Jafar, I mean, I think it's just Worlds. This is the card you would receive, but things like Gen Con, this is the kind of card they would hand out. So Pluto 2/7, questing for 2 with the ability Happy Helper. While this character has no damage, he gets +2 strength and gains support. So fun card, a 2/7, of course, very difficult to get off the board. He becomes a 4/7 by default because he's going to start with no damage in most cases. So
it is interesting because it's very late, right? So it's hard to make him fit.
Especially, so maybe if you use some Amber Ramp, like maybe the one cost Pluto.
The other Plutos. It's interesting, as I just see, that confirms the Dual Wink is carry on. I mean, we always guessed that, but that is confirmed because we didn't know if there was a competition with locations, the quantity behind it.
We haven't seen any locations.
So we'll find out more. But that's the first promo that we see.
Yeah, and actually all of the promo cards are going to be dual ink. So this is now Minnie Mouse Daring Defender. This is the Buy a Box promo card. And Minnie is a 0/8 questing for 1. She's a bodyguard and she has the ability True Valor. This character gets +1 strength for each damage on her. So, and again, another very well-statted character. Like, she's going to be a 0/8 the first time you swing a character into her, but there are many characters who can finish her off in in a single turn, it would likely need something like a brawl, maybe. But very fun, like new introduction, new stats that we haven't seen before. Yeah,
and it's still a bodyguard, even if she's not hitting back. It's like literally a good protection.
She becomes more strong the more she defends, which is like really, really interesting.
So, question: if I heal her, I lose the strength. So there's that as well, right? You have to accept that you're like getting damage and losing. Yeah.
But you can put quite a lot of damage on her. Like if she's at 7 damage and you heal with Rapunzel, she's still going to be doing 4 damage out of it. Yeah. But yeah, she has great synergy with Teeth and Ambition. You can immediately put her into bodyguard mode and then sing that and then power up with Teeth and Ambition. So very fun card. And then next we have the pre-release event promo card. This is Pull the Lever, it's in action. Choose to draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. So a very fun one. We've seen this archetype, actually, this set, the Amethyst Emerald discard deck, and this is definitely a card that's going to fit well into there. It's not a song, so I don't think it's going to replace something like Friends on the Other Side or Sudden Chill, but that kind of double utility, being able to, if you're out of cards or if your opponent is already empty-handed, then you can use this as an alternate.
It's very cool.
Alternate way. So very cool card. And yeah, that's the pre-release event promo. So that's if you attend a pre-release event and
while stocks last.
While stocks last, and if they receive their OP kits in time.
And this card is from Mario, so also another one fantastic from the art director. I love this art.
Then up next we have the 3 weekly promos, and actually I think all of these cards are really good. So I'm super excited that these are going to be handed out at League every week. So the first one is Lady Decisive Dog, 0-3 questing for 1. She's a 1-cost inkable, and she has 2 abilities. The first one is Pack of Her Own. Whenever you play a character, this character gets +1 this turn, and Take the Lead. While this character has 3 strength or more, she gains +2.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so I think in an aggro deck, we've seen Churner Dog, this set built around the Lady and the Tramp cards, and in a deck like that where you're wanting to flood the board, you can quite easily and quite quickly turn Lady into a 3-quester, on turn 1, which is kind of crazy.
That is true. That is very true. Because it's every time you're playing, right? If she's already there, you would just be able to quest. But it's that for that one turn, I'm guessing, where this card has 3 or more. I don't know why she has.
Yeah, so if you do it every turn after turn, if you're floating the board,
then she's getting the 3 and the 3 every time. It's just crazy. She's still in the park.
She's still in the park.
She's just there hanging in front of the tower, the Arcadia's tower.
But we do see Trusty and Jock in the background.
Closer. They're getting closer and closer. Will they have their own card eventually?
Well, Trusty had it, but Jock didn't. I'm really hoping, for rules of villainy sake,
it's gonna happen.
They get a Jock this set. The next promo card is Aladdin Vigilant Guard, a 6-cost inkable 1/9 questing for 1. He's a bodyguard and he has the ability Safe Passage. Whenever one of your ally character quests, you may remove 2 damage from this character. Healing, I think in Sapphire, maybe not the strongest mechanic right now, but if you're using Aladdin as a bodyguard and you're getting damage on him, then you can quest with the characters that he's protecting, heal him up, and then he's just kind of hopefully going to stick around on the board for quite a while unless your opponent's able to take him down in 1. It's going to be a nightmare to deal with as a steel player.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
And we're seeing that profile again, right, with allies related to that combination, but hopefully it's going to get better and better.
Yeah, we're going to see some more cards as well that feed into the Sapphire Steel ally build. But the last card, probably the one I'm most excited out of these weekly promos, this is Patch, Playful Pup, a 1-cost uninkable 0-2 questing for 1. He has Ward, and he has the ability Puppy Barking. While you have another puppy character in play, this character gains +1 law. So lots of cards last set in the puppy archetype, a deck that I had a lot of fun playing this set at League in one of the casual leagues that we play in. And I think this card, it definitely works in that deck. It gives another 1-cost character in those decks. The fact that he has Ward means your opponent can't target him, and you're going to be playing so many puppies anyway.
It is insane that he can just accumulate the +1 and not be targeted.
Well, he just gets he's not accumulating, right? He's just getting +1 whilst there's a puppy.
Not for each.
No. It's just if there's another one you get. But he's still a 2-quester on turn 1 with Ward.
But I'm less excited.
I'm excited.
I thought it was additive.
And with that, let's look at the rest of the Dual Ink cards that were revealed today. So we're going to start off first with Bruno Madrigal's Singing Seer, 7-cost uninkable 3/7 questing for 2. He's Floodborn, so he'll shift in at 5 and has the ability Bright Future. Whenever this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each character you have in play. Very fun card for a magical theme deck. It was one that we played this set, and I think it would fit well in there. Of course, it relies on you kind of building that wide board, but I think it is possible if you're playing him on turn 5 on curve. Maybe you've got a few characters set up and you can use this really as a way to refill your hand. And the fact he's Floodbone means you get the benefit of him pretty much straight away.
It's interesting, right? Because they're getting the draw element from the Amethyst, and I'm guessing the singing, even though he's not a singer, for an Umber, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the closest of Ember you're getting here. Super cool. I'm literally find out about those cards as I'm looking.
Mateus,
I did not have the chance. This is the first time I'm looking at cards, so I cannot comment much. I'm literally reading with you at the same time.
People get so mad if you don't look at the cards before you do.
I know, but we usually do. It's just today, as I said, it's been all crazy. And we literally did the house in 1 hour to show the house viewing. So bear with us.
If only you had his ability to see into the future, you would know the cards that are coming, because you know that he has actually some really great synergy with Alma Madrigal, Accepting Grandmother, a 6-cost inkable 5/5 questing for 2, with the ability The Miracle Is You. Once during your turn, whenever one or more of your characters sing a song, you may ready those characters. So you can sing a song with Bruno, you could sing a song with multiple characters, and then ready Bruno, and then sing another song. Oh no, sorry, just once a turn. But you can ready Bruno. He can sing again, and you'll draw cards again.
He will sing twice.
Yeah, that's the important thing, is so that he can draw the cards. Yes. A very fun one. You can play Bruno turn 5, Alma turn 6, double sing with Bruno, and then get lots of cards. So that's definitely a fun one. And the art on this is gorgeous.
Beautiful. I love all the purple.
Absolutely gorgeous. Next up, we have Candy Drift. This is a 2-cost inkable action, and it is an Amber Ruby dual ink card. Draw a card. Chosen character of yours gets +5 this turn. At the end of your turn, banish them. So you can turn your 1-cost character into an absolute bomb, do a huge amount of damage, and get to draw a card. Yeah. So I think this one actually a very, very fun card. Of course, it seems to fit into the racer archetype that they want to really create with Amber Ruby. But this is something that can be used in in an Amber Ruby Mufasa deck as well. I don't think it's limited to just a racer deck, because paying 2 to draw a card are always a good thing, and giving that +5 can really help you out. It can help Maui clear a McDuck Manor in a single shot. It has a lot of utility. +5.
I think the draw card is a big part as well, right? Literally just having a way to also draw, I think is super, super cool. Yeah.
So very fun card there. Next, over in Amber Steel, we have Bold Down But Not Out, a 3-cost inkable, 0/4 questing for 4. Jesus. With the ability, none of your powers are working. This character enters play exerted. I love this card. It's incredibly, incredibly cute, but has a lot of actual, I think there's a lot of utility in a card like this. Because it's in Amber and Steel, that's the colors that have bodyguards. So if you have your bodyguard set up and you play Bolt, then it can make him quite difficult to remove. We know how hard it can be to remove a 4 willpower character. And he's also something you can play after a Be Prepared, when he's not likely to be challenged anyway.
No one will attack him. Yeah. What is super cool, I'm thinking, if you play him and then you play... So he enters plays exerted, and then you play Donald Duck and give a 5th point of lore and bodyguard then.
Yeah. But he only gets the 5th point of law the turn you play him, right?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is one turn after.
Sorry,
of course. It's not going to be protected turn he was played because he's exerted. The turn after, then you quest it for 5.
Yeah.
But maybe I need 2 bodyguards in this case.
I was thinking something like Sven, right? You could play him and then Sven straight after him.
Then ready him. Yeah.
There are a few different effects in Amber that will let you ready characters. Cool. So that is a way. But I think behind a bodyguard, behind it like a Chen Po, he's probably going to survive long enough for you to be able to quest for 4.
He's good.
I love this card in the rare slot.
Get your Donald Ducks ready to make your opponent go to 25, otherwise you're going to lose very fast.
And then next over in Amethyst Ruby, we have Madame Medusa, Deceiving Partner, 3-cost, inkable 3/3 questing for 1, with the ability Double Cross. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to return chosen character with 2 costs or less to their player's hand. So this is I wish you could return a character with a little bit more high cost, because it's kind of like Befuddle, right? Yeah. It's like Befuddle on a body that you have to deal damage to one of your characters. Maybe not the end of the world. You could deal it to a character. I was going to say
you can do 2 Minnie Mouse. No, but Minnie Mouse is a double. It's a dual wing.
So you are likely going to have to be like Well, I suppose there are some cards you can power up, right, if they take damage, but this one I'm less sure about.
If it was 3, cost 3 or less,
even that, right, it would just be a
it's already so much better,
more powerful. So, but I love seeing more Madame Medusa cards. We need more in the game.
She has the diamond.
And then next we have this Amethyst Sapphire item card. This is Ice Spikes, a 2-cost inkable item. It has 2 abilities. The first one is Hold Still. When you play this item, exert chosen opposing character, which is pretty good for a 2-cost. And then it also has a secondary ability. It's Stuck. You can exert this item, pay 1, and exert chosen opposing item. It can't ready at the start of its next turn. So right now in the metagame as it is, there aren't that many kind of items you would want to exert in that way. But, you know, if something like the Lucky Dime comes back into fashion, then this is a great kind of counterplay to that in an ink color that often, I think, would struggle to deal with those item builds, especially things like the Lucky Dime. So
I think this is very interesting.
It's interesting.
It's an interesting card because you can just keep doing it until they banish it.
But I do like the fact that it does have the 2 abilities.
It gives an additional value just for the sake of using it, right?
Yeah, and I think even in Amethyst Sapphire right now, there's the versions that run the Bell, Apprentice, Inventor. So you can always do all of the things and then banish this with her. And then maybe even bring it back with Tamatoa later. So it's definitely got some utility and definitely kind of pushing...
Is that a Disney Lorcana art? Or do you think that's something to do with Jafar? It looks like a bit.
I think it's probably like one of maybe the traps or something that Jafar has set to protect himself. And next up, we saw it already, but this is the original regular version of Jafar, High Sultan of Lorcana. 5-cost and inkable, 4/4 questing for 3. And he has the ability Dark Power. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character card is discarded this way, you may play that character for free. So basically, he is giving you the ability to play something like a Giant Cobra or an Iago for free if you're able to quest with him. A 4/4, you know, he's not the easiest thing to remove from the board straight away, unless you have something in steel like an Olong Zeus. But I think oftentimes you'll be happy for your opponent to use Olong Zeus on this rather than another one of your characters. So I think this one is going to put people in kind of a tricky spot where they have to decide, am I going to deal with this character or not?
I'm thinking on the synergy with the Cobra, the big Cobra, because it forces you to discard to earn the lore, but it doesn't work in that case because the discard has to happen at this point.
Because of that effect, so it's only if it's discarded. So
he's a king as well, look at that.
He's a king, sorcerer, villain, dreambond, so super cool card, and it's nice to see like a really more support for the illusion archetype.
And there are more illusions coming, right? As we're going to look next, but there are more illusions coming, so more and more the potential will increase.
Yeah, and as Matthias said, here's another one of those illusions in Amethyst Steel. This is Abu Illusionary Pachyderm, a 6-cost inkable, 3/7 questing for 1. He is an illusion, so he has the Vanish keyword, and then he also has the ability Grasping Trunk. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing character. So if your opponent has just played Bolt, use him, it can become quite a lot. So I think actually great stats on this guy. Obviously a 6 cost, so he's coming out a little bit later. He can be taken down with a lot of cheap actions because of the downside of the Vanish, but I do think this one could be quite a good one for sealed and for draft and things like that. So
what I find interesting about this is that because it's not like other cards that doesn't have any points of lore. So this card is still valuable if your opponent has no cards. You still quest for 1, maybe not much, but you still quest for 1. And then if there is an opponent, you can also make that choice, right? But it's whenever, so you have to do that. So if the opponent has a character, you have to pick one. But at that point, nothing is less than one.
Too.
So exactly.
So very fun card. Next up in Emerald's Ruby, we have Dormouse, easily agitated, a 2-cost inkable, 1/2 questing for 1, with the ability Very Rude Indeed. When you play this character, you may put 1 damage counter on chosen character. So something for that Emerald Ruby damage archetype that we saw a lot of last set. Also from Alice in Wonderland again, which is very, very cool to see. It's kind of like Mosquito Bite, and then you also get a 1/2
it's the body, it's questing.
So I think this card would be good for your...
I know, that's what I'm thinking, because a lot of the things we've been seeing, the latest effects are you have to already have a damage in the character to apply the damage. This one, no. You can apply like Mosquito Bite. Dormouse is from Alice, right? It's not from Cinderella. It is Alice. Yeah, of course. I think even the T and the...
It makes sense.
Super cool. First time seeing this as well.
No, you've seen it all before. I know you've seen this one, Matthias.
I did because I commented it.
So this is Hiro Hamada, Intuitive Thinker, 2-cost inkable, 1/3 questing for 1, with the ability Look for a New Angle, exert ready chosen Floodborn character, and I should say this is an Emerald Sapphire card, and we've seen a lot of support in Emerald Sapphire for that Floodborn archetype. So I think there are many great Floodborn characters in both of these ink colors. Which one you would target with him, I'm not sure right now, but here's a way to protect something like Clarabelle so that she can keep drawing. But the big thing to note here is that you're readying them and there's no restrictions. They can still quest, they can still sing, they can still challenge. So a lot of different ways you could use this on your characters. So I do like this. It's quite a good one.
Yeah.
Next up in Emerald Steel, we have Don Carnage, Air Pirate Leader, 3-cost and inkable, 3-2 questing for 1. He's evasive, and he also has the ability Scornful Taunt. Whenever you play an action that isn't a song, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. So it reminds me a lot of Bellwether. Bellwether was triggered on inking. This is the same kind of thing, but with actions, and we've seen a lot of cards in Emerald Steel that kind of care about actions. And it can trigger with something like Fire the Cannons, which is really cheap way to do this. So yeah, an interesting card. I think it'll be, depending on how many actions we get, this set could be a good one again for draft, maybe more than constructed.
Because it's evasive, but we cannot overlook evasive. It's cool to see him back, Don Carnage. I prefer this art.
Yeah, this one is incredible.
I just love posing. It's so good.
Cool.
Yes.
So cool.
Yes.
Next up in Ruby Sapphire, we have this. It is Get Out. It's a 6-cost uninkable action. Banish chosen character, then return an item card from your discard to your hand. So again, last set, we saw a lot of Ruby Sapphire cards that kind of care about items, of course, the Belle, the Maurice. But this is actually something that I could see slotting maybe into a Ruby Sapphire build. Especially if it kind of goes more toward the item direction. Obviously, it's changed its identity a little bit because of Hiram, because basically it costs 1 more than a Dragonfire. So if you are running Maui Shark and you can get this back and you have items, then I think all of those things together make something like this card actually pretty good. And up next, we have Mulan charging ahead. This is Mulan from one of the 2 starter decks this set. She's a 4-cost uninkable 3-3. She's reckless. She has 2 abilities. The first one is Burst of Speed. During your turn, this character gains evasive, and long range. This character can challenge ready characters. So more support for that Ruby.
Interesting.
The Ruby state. Another card you didn't see yet.
No. I just mean, I haven't. But it's interesting the effects. Actually.
Yeah, it's another good one for Ruby Steel decks that kind of care about challenging.
She'll be a beast if she was inkable, right?
She would be a beast if she was inkable. But one thing I was thinking about is you could combine her with something like the Vitalosphere, give her Rush, and then bringing her out as a 3-5 that can challenge ready characters can actually be very, very powerful. And she can challenge evasive characters too.
That's so cool, yeah.
Yeah, and I love the art on this card. It's absolutely incredible. Then in Sapphire Steel, we have this Jasmine card, a 4-cost, inkable, 2-5, questing for 1. Jasmine is a Floodbond. She can shift in at 2 and has the ability Always Planning. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So again, more support in Sapphire Steel for that ally archetype. We do have a 1-cost Jasmine already. That is Jasmine, Heir of Agrabah. So yeah, perfect shift target for her. A 2-5 as well. Kind of quite good stats to be playing on turn 2. And you can draw cards. So she's basically replacing the card that you're losing because of Jasmine. So that is, I think this one's a really fun one to watch out for.
Yeah, and that is, just a reminder, this is the one we saw for the Enchanted card.
Yes.
But the Enchanted one has Raja as well, next to Jasmine. I wonder if the other side of this card will be a continuous art, not necessarily continuous, but the same space. And who is the hand?
Yeah,
maybe they raised that question and they said, is that Aladdin again? We'll find out.
And then the last of the duel in cards, also in Sapphire Steel, and also more support for allies. This is Bernard, overprepared, a 2-cost uninkable 2-2 questing for 1, with the ability go down there and investigate. When you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you may draw a card. So another great bit of synergy there for the allies. We know how easy it is to play allies in these decks. Like pretty much 80% of characters have the ally tag on them. So yeah, it's great that we're getting a little bit more support for that. Almost guaranteed card draw if you're able to set it up right. And yeah, nice that we get some more ally synergy with Bernard, because obviously Miss Bianca herself, which is a card that's seeing play, also had that ally synergy. So very fun one there.
Who's in the back? Because it can't. It is Bianca.
It's Penny the Orphan.
Oh, no, it is Bianca. I was like, how is it going to be Penny? It should be tiny. No, it is Bianca. It's not the hat. Yeah.
Yeah, another card. The lighting on this, absolutely incredible. Cool. So kicking us off in the single ink cards, we have this Donald Duck Coin Collector, an 8-cost inkable for it that quests for 2. He's a super rare. And he has 2 abilities. Mattis's favorite character, like Donald Duck, and this art is incredible. So he has Here Piggy, sorry. For each item named the nephew's piggy bank you have in play, you pay 2 less to play this character.
Wait, what? So that's a card. The nephew's piggy bank is a card.
We might might see it next.
Okay, sorry.
But yes, it's one would expect an item card.
Yes.
And for each one of those you have in play, it's too cheaper to play Donald.
Okay.
And then he has money everywhere. When you play this character, your other characters gain exert, draw a card this turn, which is really a fantastic thing for Amber because it basically is giving Amber a lot of access.
So only when you play this character?
Just when you play this character.
All your other characters you have in play can exert to draw a card that turn.
That turn, exactly.
So you make a choice. Am I questing? Am I challenging?
Yeah.
Or am I drawing cards?
So
Interesting.
that is a fun one. I think it's definitely going to be one that lives or dies by this next item, which is the Nephew's Piggy Bank.
There you go. There he
A
is.
2-cost uninkable item, and it has 2 abilities. The first one is Inside Job. If you have a character named Donald Duck in play, you pay 1 less to play this item. So actually that has some fun reverse synergy because I guess you want to set this up first before playing Donald. So maybe we're going to see some more Donalds in...
So wait, so it costs 1 less
Yeah.
from the Donald Duck that it was costing 2 less?
Well,
So it costs 3?
any Donald Duck.
My brain. Okay, so for that particular Donald Duck, I already have 2 less because of the Nashville Piggy Bank.
Yeah.
Plus 1 more if the Piggy Bank is coming first.
Yeah.
But for any other Donald Ducks that I play after playing the Piggy Bank, it costs 1 less.
To play the item, yeah. So if you play Donald Duck on turn 1...
I have to play the item.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So you play Donald Duck on turn 1. Maybe we're going to get an Amber
Gotcha,
1-cost Donald Duck turn 1. And then you could play 2 Piggy Banks on turn 2, each for 1 less. And then by turn 4, you could play Donald
For
Duck.
free. And then eventually I can play this item for free.
No, so the ability, it's an if condition. If you have a character named Donald Duck, you can pay 1 less. It's not for each character named Donald Duck.
It doesn't buy one.
So basically, it's some nice synergy. I think that's...
And there's payoff, which I cut you.
Yes,
So if you exert it, chosen character gets -1 strength until the start of her next turn. So you can keep using that as well, which is cool.
It's like an ice block. So
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot. Like, well, it's going to depend a lot on what else we get this set. If we get some cheap Donald Ducks, if we get maybe some more payoffs for the Nephew's Piggy Bank, hopefully this means we're going to see more Louie, Dewey, and Huey.
It's just so interesting. That's what I thought it was when you said the Nephews. Why does he have such a long eyelashes?
So I mean, I think we'll probably see more synergy with this. I think until then, probably not that playable, but definitely fun cards.
Perfect. And then starting with Amethyst, we're going to look at Pinocchio, strings attached. He's a 4 inkable card, all 4 questing for 2, evasive. And before Charlie talks about the ability, I just wanted to narrate this one because I'm obsessed with this card. Pinocchio is one of my favorite ever characters, and I've been asking since the beginning, when are we getting a legendary one? Can we get an enchanted one? This is just so beautiful.
Yeah,
and then you can carry on now.
It's amazing, yeah. So Pinocchio has the ability, got to keep real quiet. Once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. So that is definitely an ability you need to set up in order to get the benefit out of it. But for sure, I could see you being able to trigger this at least once. And he does quest for 2, so...
He's evasive.
He is evasive, yeah, that's true.
So he's very protected. Well,
yeah.
as far as you can tell.
But I think for sure, pair this with Steel and put him behind the bodyguards. Pair this with Amber and put him behind the bodyguard. Then it becomes even more... difficult to get off the board. So yeah, even Elsa won't be able to take him down in one shot. So
what is the key? It is the snake shape, right? So is it maybe maybe it's the key you need to get inside the temple?
Maybe he's doing very much like the Mission Impossible on the strings lowering down.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, so that's the first Amethyst legendary we saw. And then the second Amethyst legendary is Bambi Little Prince, and that's
which is a new franchise.
Yeah, we forgot to say.
To say.
So Bambi is joining the world of Disney Lorcana and doing so with a legendary card. I'm so happy to see the classics in the game now. So this is Bambi Little Prince, 3-cost uninkable, 1/1 questing for 3. It has 2 abilities. The first one is Say Hello. When you play this character, gain 1 law. And the second ability is Kind of Bashful. When an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand, which is incredible, right? So it's kind of like the White Rose.
Okay.
In that you gain the law when you play him, and then the fact he'll be returned to your hand, then you can play him again and gain the law. But I think what's very interesting about this card, and it's going to be one of those that's maybe a little tricky to play. You want to set up the board state where your opponent has no characters. You play Bambi.
You need to be able to quest.
That's
it's
true.
So hard, right? Because you want to quest and then go back and protect yourself.
You need your opponent not to be playing characters.
But how can you do that at turn 3 unless you're playing Blurple?
Yeah.
Right, and then the opponent has a very bad hand just with items or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's
because
true.
How can you make this happen?
Maybe in like a discard deck where you've discarded your opponent's cards and everything. So it is a hard one to set up, but
you're learning the lore. Sorry, I think
exactly,
that's it, right? So it's really hard to quest for 3 at a point, but every time you bring it back, you're earning the lore. I just deleted Bambi from the screen because I was speaking, but he's back on the screen. So you're earning the lore. I just love the gameplay. I love when there's those creative gameplays that you really need to think. Yeah. I don't have the solution yet of how you make this work, but I love it.
The question is Bambi ever going to quest for 3?
Yes.
That's the question.
That's question number 1. Question number 2. Is Amethyst legendaries good? Because that's all the legendaries.
Yeah, I think they're interesting.
So it's at least it's not Ruby. Because Ruby has been suffering a lot.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are unplayable right now. The fact that Bambi, you're guaranteed a law. The fact that Pinocchio, evasive 0-4.
I love that.
Yeah, I love both of them.
I love
Very
both of them.
interesting gameplay, and we'll see if people are able to make it work.
And to pay off for forgetting about the Bambi franchise, we're going to talk about the next card, which is also from the same
quite
franchise.
a few Bambi cards to talk about. So the next one is Flower Shy Skunk. A 3-cost inkable, 3/3 questing for 1. And Flower has the ability Looking for Friends. Whenever you play another character, look at the top card of your deck and put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. So very fun one. We've seen a little bit of this in Amethyst already, of the kind of looking at the top card. We of course saw Merlin Turtle, who had this ability on himself. But the fact that Flower, you could be doing it multiple times.
In the same turn?
In the same turn, yeah, exactly. It could work in an aggro deck if you need to really kind of dig for your answers. So yeah, I like this one a lot.
And it's not a bad stats either.
No.
I mean, he's alright. So just having him on the board just to activate that.
And he's so cute. We get skunks around our house sometimes.
They're not as cute as this one.
I always love them. We have one under our deck sometimes. So.
Don't tell for the house sale.
And then another Bambi card, a little bit less interesting in vanilla. This is Bambi, Prince of the Forest, a 2-cost inkable, 3/2 questing for 1. And yeah, nice to see both versions of Bambi as a baby and as the legendary Prince of the Forest.
Yes.
Next up is Forest Jewel, another card from Bambi. We're getting a lot of deer this set. This is a 5-cost inkable action. All your characters gain Challenger +2, and when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. So you can basically turn everything on your board into bombs to take out your opponent's card and then return those cards to your hand.
That is insane.
Yeah, and if you do that with something like Merlin Court, then not only is he taking out something, but he's also getting returned to your hand to...
this is really good. I suppose that's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, it's a 5-cost inkable action. At
But
least it's inkable, it's maybe a tricky one, but it could also be kind of like that emergency switch. If your opponent has got a big board and you need to deal with it, then you could do that. So
that's really cool, actually. Another one of those that I think is really interesting.
It is a very interesting card as well. Scarab is the next card that we're looking at. This is a 2-cost uninkable item with the ability Search the Sands. You can exert, pay 2, return an illusion character card from your discard to your hand. So if you're building if you're building one of those illusion decks around all of the new cards, this is a really great way to recur them. Your opponent will eventually run out of actions to be able to banish your illusions. So this is a very great way to kind of tax their resources. And the fact that you can be doing this turn after turn, like every single time they banish your Abu transform.
I'm thinking of the Cobra, right? Yeah. Because the Cobra has such a strong effect of giving you 2 points of lore if you discard.
Yeah.
If you can bring it back, of course, you have to have the cards in hand to discard. But
because you could discard an illusion card with his ability, gain the lore, use this, bring it back to your hand.
Discard. Oh my god.
And then once the Cobra himself is banished, bring him back. And I think there's a lot of potential in this one if you are able to build those
illusions are
decks.
starting to pay off.
And then last in Amethyst is another illusion card. This is Palace Guard
Spectral Sentry.
Thank you. This is a 1-cost inkable, 1/4 questing for 1. Vanilla technically, but he does have the vanish keyword. So 1/4 stats, very good on turn 1. You will, if you want to remove him with an action, then you are using action. So it's removing the ability to use those with on other characters. So yeah, I think this one's reasonably
Is anyone ever using it? I never see anyone using a Palace Guard, but
maybe if you're building a fully illusion deck, you might want to do it. We also got our first look at one of the legendaries for Emerald. This is Rapunzel, High Climber, a 5-cost inkable, a 2/5 questing for 2, evasive with the ability Wrapped Up. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their turn. So first of all, I don't think it's an unplayable legendary for Emerald. We have had a few of those recently. She is inkable, which is nice, is evasive. And the ability as well can be quite disruptive. We've seen this in Emerald a few times. Haven't really seen many people use it too much. Obviously, I think in set 1, there's Jasper, Common Crook, who has the same ability on quest. He's a 3-cost, but he only quests for 1, and he's not evasive. So Rapunzel potentially is going to stick around on the board a little bit longer, but is removable with something like Along Came Zeus. She is susceptible to brawl. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's an interesting one.
It's so late, right? Maybe not 5, but it is interesting. And if we are not mistaken, this is one of the Enchanted, because we did see a full art of what it looks like to be this card, with the same effect of the scarabs and the same layout we saw in Jasmine. So I think it's almost a given. That's one of the Enchanted.
And we'll look at that once it's officially revealed.
Yeah, and
but
like
it was
higher resolution.
It was already on our Instagram, if you want to take a look. Over in Ruby, we have Feline, a playful fawn, a 4-cost and inkable, 2/4 questing for 1, another evasive, and has the ability Precocious Friend. While you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, this character gets +2 law.
Wait. While you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character.
So it's the same as Flynn Rider, exactly. Yeah, sorry. So this is another card for those decks that really care about strength of characters. Goes well, similar effect, as I said, to Flynn Rider. So if you're able to play something out like a Maui that has a lot of strength, that's going to be a lot stronger than anyone else's character, then Feline will then quest for 3. So could be a very fun one if you want to build like kind of a strength-based, maybe aggro deck or something.
Okay. That's interesting. He's evasive, so he'll stay longer, hopefully.
Another card from Bambi. This is a Twitter-pated, a 1-cost inkable action. Chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn, which is actually quite a good action. You can use evasive to protect your characters, but you can also use it as a kind of more of a defensive tool. If your opponent has an evasive character you can't get rid of, then you could use this in order to do it. It's really cute, right?
It is. I was trying to see the bunny on the back because it looks like she's holding a flag, but it's not. It's just my brain messing up. She looks like she was wearing so much makeup.
More Thumper now. This is Thumper Young Bunny, a 2-cost inkable, 0/3, questing for 1. With the ability, you can do it. Exert, chosen character gets +3 strength this turn. So could actually work well in maybe an Amber Ruby deck, because you have access to World's Greatest Criminal Mind. So you can use Thumper to give a character +3 strength and then remove them with World's Greatest Criminal Mind. But in Ruby decks without access to Amber, it's a very good way to power up your characters in order to take down threats, to take down locations. But
I wish it was until the start of your next turn.
Yeah,
just because then you could protect for something like Big Sisu, Under the Sea.
Very true.
It would be a nice tool for that, but I suppose,
can't have everything. And Friend Owl, Cantankerous Neighbor is up next. 2-cost inkable, 2/2, questing for 2. More Winnie the Pooh cards, so hopefully we'll be seeing even more of them this set. And vanilla card, not much to say about this one. For the racer fans out there, I know there are plenty of people building racer decks. This is Vanellope Von Sweet's Spunky Speedster, 2-cost inkable, 3/1, questing for 1, evasive. So same stats actually as Pegasus, which is a card that does see play because it is a good counter to something like a Diablo, and now with things like Peter Pan Shadowfinder, you can basically give your Pegasus Rush. Now you can give Vanellope Rush. So you could definitely use her in a race deck, but she also has utility outside of that, and maybe an Amethyst Ruby deck as well. Next we have Iago Out of Reach. You might recognize this card because it was the promo card that was given as part of the D23 membership. He is a 4-cost inkable, 3/3, questing for 2, with the ability Self-Preservation. While you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. So it's kind of making any character a bodyguard specifically for Iago, which is something we've never seen before. It's a very interesting mechanic. If if your other character is an evasive character, maybe, then it can be very hard to remove those, and then Iago can just.
It's even more. It's even stronger than a bodyguard at that point, right?
Yeah.
That is evasive and stuff.
Exactly.
A bit of a funny story about this, because when the card was first shown, it was a picture someone took in the event, right? So it was so blurred. And guess what? When we look at that, we thought Iago was wearing a helmet, and we thought that the snake statue was actually a roller coaster. So we literally made this whole fanfic in our heads that this was a card to do with one of the rides at Disney.
But it wasn't to be. He's just wearing a turban. He's just
the turban. It's just a statue, but it was amazing. So we can see all that in our Instagram.
Would have been really cool if that was the case. Also in steel, we have Magic Carpet, Phantom Rug, a 3-cost inkable, 2/4, questing for 2. Here's an illusion, so he has the Vanish keyword, and has the ability Spectral Force. Your other illusion characters gain Challenger +1, which I think if you're building that deck, it could be really good. One of the Iago is such a good card, but as a 4/6. There are a lot of characters he can't take out. Yeah. So if you give him the Challenger +1, and now
or the snake again, go back into the snake. This is good.
Cobra, So I think that's definitely a fun one. Whether it sees play outside of an illusion deck,
it's gonna die so fast, right?
I doubt it, but I think if you do build that, it's going to be quite strong indeed. And The last card we're looking at today, this is a rare card. This is Stitch, Alien Troublemaker, a 4-cost inkable, 3/4 questing for 1. Also a part of the starter deck alongside Mulan. And he has the ability, I win. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may draw a card and gain 1 lore. So I actually think that is quite a cool one. Very similar to almost like Calhoun, but you're gaining the card as well. Similar to Robin Hood, but you don't need to be banished to get the card. And if you're able to do this multiple times, because it's not just once per turn, if you're able to exert him, challenge, ready, challenge again, then you could be triggering this multiple times. So I do like this one. I think it's going to work really well in those Ruby Steel decks as well.
And guess what? That's our second guess that's also an Enchanted for the same reason. The big artwork, the scarabs, the art style. So
it makes a lot
that's
of
probably
sense, yeah.
And in that one, we see multiple stitches as well, which is super cool. So go check it out on our Instagram account.
So that is it for the reveals and the news today. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more. I know they already said there's going to be a main stage on Discord for, I think, tomorrow, so you can tune into that. Everything's just all over the place.
They're going to share Excel, I think, or something like they did last time with all the reviews coming from all places, so stay tuned to that. And also, if you want everything in real time, straight away, all our infographics explaining everything you just found out, go check our Instagram account. I'm trying to be on top of that as much as I can. There's plenty. By the time you watch this video, there's a lot of things already there. But stay tuned every day as it comes fast and fast.
Exactly. And if you enjoyed this video, and despite the rants, please do give us a like and subscribe for more, including more coverage of all of the new stuff coming with the Reign of Jafar and beyond.
And thank you so much for all the YouTube members as well. Your name is just here on the side. The community is growing. We love you. We love your support. And again, sorry for the rant. I hope you understand where we're coming from.
We do all of this for you. It's
not
necessarily to
honestly. And it's rough, but we're getting there. It was amazing. We love everything we see. We can't wait to find out more. So stay tuned, and until next time, happy questing.
Happy questing.